welcome to this week's Coaches Preview Show. I'm Jeremy Qualls. We're joined by two of our brand new coaches here in the WCS Sports Conference, the Lady Bruins coach, Myles Thrash, Lady Eagles coach of Independence, Coach Whitney Baird. Hello, guys.
How's it going?
Welcome to the show. Now, don't be nervous. We're going to talk basketball. It's all good, right? So I'm going to start with you. You're the opposing team, the away team tonight. 13-4, Lady Bruins are sitting at 6-1 in district play. Yeah. What can you talk about your team right now? You're playing really good basketball. Good win earlier this week. Now, you started off winning 9 of your first 10. You've won 5 in a row now. I mean, you won 51-50. Everything's going your way right now, right?
Yeah, we're working pretty hard right now, practicing well, and things are looking good for us right now.
Well, you're kind of led by senior Izzy Franco.
Yeah.
The Trussell twins are sophomores right now. You got a real young team. Izzy's kind of leading the way, playing really good basketball. I happened to see you guys play against Paige. She can shoot the ball well. She takes the ball to the rack well. You know, talk about Izzy for just a minute, what she brings to your team.
Well, she brings a lot of experience, first off. You know, she came in as a freshman or whatever. She was starting at CPA, and she transferred over to Brentwood. And she's brought a lot of experience, and she's played in a lot of big games. And she's a gamer.
Well, she definitely can shoot the ball, that's for sure. And I know that Coach Baird knows that. She's seen that on tape. Coach Baird, right now 6-12 for the Lady Eagles, 2-5 in district play. You are sitting in 7th place with a big win. And people look at the Centennial Lady Cougars record and schedule. I think it's kind of fool's gold right now. They haven't won a lot. They had Chantel fly out earlier. They're 1-6. I think before the thing's over, and y'all probably will agree with me, that Centennial is going to be a tough out in the district tournament. That's a huge win for you guys this week earlier. And you also beat Spring Hill 76-37 to get your 2 wins in district play. Congratulations on that. Talk a little bit about your team right now. You got led by sophomore Hudson. She's playing pretty good basketball for you. And talk about your team.
We're just working hard. Kirsten is a sophomore. She's kind of leading our team on offense right now. But I've got a couple girls that are stepping up and trying to be leaders. Amanda Haylett, she's a junior this year. She's played a lot of big minutes for me, and she does a lot of little things that you don't notice on the stat sheet.
Well, both of you are new coaches, and let's talk about that for a moment. Coach Thrash, tell us a little bit about your background, where you started your coaching gig way back, and how you've gotten to this point.
Well, I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama. I've been here now going on 8 years. When I got here, I've coached AAU, got on the scene with coaching as a player when I finished playing after I retired professionally. I started coaching middle school ball over at Battleground Academy. Mm-hmm. I was middle school head girls coach, and I was assistant high school girls coach. I was over there for about 7 years. And I came over to Brentwood. Coach Shirley called me once he got the job with boys and asked would I like to come over, and of course I jumped on that.
Right.
And it's all said from there.
Well, and you stepped up at a time that we needed a girls coach there, and that's very noble of you to do that, and we're appreciative of that. Talk about your professional career. You're talking about you played professionally.
Yeah.
Go back to, where did you graduate high school? Where did you play basketball high school?
I played high school at Mattie T. Blunt High School in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah. I graduated from Stillman College in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Okay.
So, yeah, I played professionally overseas for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
I played in the NBA Developmental League and got a little bit of NBA stint with the Clippers.
So if you and Coach Shirley went one-on-one, who's going to win that game, you think?
I'll take it easy on him.
Coach Baird, you're the first coach. The second one will be behind you, Coach Jones. But first coach that I've had on this show that has coached or been on the other side of the river. And I talk about the other side of the river in West Tennessee a lot because my coaching career, I was over at Lexington High School. There's where I finished up. And I try to talk about basketball in general, specifically boys basketball because I was on the boys side. But West Tennessee, talk about the high school you came from.
I played my high school at Gibson County High School in Dyer, Tennessee.
Right. And they were pretty good, right?
We were okay.
Girls basketball in Gibson County specifically is usually one of the better counties in West Tennessee for girls basketball.
I mean, growing up, my mom was a teacher at Gibson County, so I've been to every game since I was a baby. And it's something I've always wanted to do is wear one of those jerseys and play in that gym. And during my high school career, we made it to state 3 out of 4 years. We were undefeated my senior year. Going into state and ended up losing first round to Livingston Academy, who ended up winning state that year. So
Just what year was that?
Really?
Was that about 90? No,
90?
just messing with you.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of who was on that Livingston Academy team that was so good.
Katrina Beachboard.
Okay.
She was Miss Basketball. They had, oh my goodness.
They have a lot of Miss Basketballs that have come out of Livingston
Yes,
Academy.
they have.
Sunday Watson, the Bottoms girl. I mean, there's been that heritage there at Livingston Academy. But let's go back to Gibson County. Obion Central, Gibson County,
Westview.
Martin Westview. Now, how many state championships have come out of that county alone out of those three school systems?
A lot.
Because it's different in West Tennessee because all your cities, like you just mentioned, Gibson County, Obion, they're special school districts. It's not one county that oversees all of that. So, I mean, they've had a lot of state championships coming out of there.
Right.
Now, your coaching career started where?
My coaching career started in Mobile, Alabama. I was an assistant coach for a couple years at Baker High School, and then I moved up here, 4 or 5 years ago, and was assistant coach for 1 year at Haywood in Brownsville, Tennessee. And then I took over the program there, and I was there for 4 years. Had some success there, and just ready to try something new.
And I was, when you go over there, specifically on the boys' side, you play basketball over there, you cross the river, edge of Memphis, Shelby County, even all the way back to Lexington, which is right close to the river. You've got Bolivar in there, you've got Middleton in there, you've got Jackson Southside in there, you've got Liberty Tech in there. I just mentioned state championship teams, right? And Coach Jones can speak to that because he's been in the mix of that. Crockett County, some really good programs on the rural side and on the city side. And the basketball is very rich in West Tennessee. You were a part of that. You come over here. Let's talk about your coaching staff for a minute. Who's on your coaching staff?
Well, I have Brittany Thompson. She's a former Brentwood player. She played under Sig, and she helped out last year with Sig for a little bit. She volunteered. I also have Marcel Williams, who played under Coach Shirley in Florida in high school, which he came here and played at Austin P. So my coaching staff's been pretty good, and they're very familiar with the game as players, and they're trying to transition over into being better coaches as well.
And for you?
My assistant coach this year, it's his first year back coaching, is Clint Giserni. He's a teacher there. He's been the head softball coach there a couple years ago. Kind of took some time away from coaching to start a family, and I'm lucky to have him this year. He's great working with the younger girls on fundamentals, and just really, I guess I'm probably more of an offensive coach, so he kind of focuses more on the defensive part of it, and he's really good about breaking defensive things down and working with the girls on understanding why you do what you do.
Well, when I came to your one practice, I've seen more than one, but when I watched, there's a lot of things that I can remember as a coach. Who's over defense, who's over offense, and what kind of role do you play in that whole thing? Obviously, you're the overseer, you're playing the whole thing, but who in your coach on your staff, do you mainly take care of the defense yourself, or do you have somebody that kind of specializes on the defensive side of the ball that has the schemes, if you will, the X's and O's part of that?
We kind of do a little bit both. I allow a lot of freedom. What we have is, like Marcel's, he's more of a post player when he was college. I let him to bring his strengths, what he's done very well. And Brittany, she was on the shooter. She's a very physical guard for SIG, so she brings the aspect on us from the guard. So we kind of rotate it. And our philosophy is just staying a little with the details and then kind of focusing in on what's going on.
And that's a good thing to have because when you break up, I'm sure you do guards post, and you work out, you've got somebody on each end that's got expertise in that area that you don't have to. Sometimes when you're shorthanded, if it's just you and another person, you're going to have to take care of a group. And now you've got one for each end when you're going through drills. When the same question kind of goes to you. What does your who takes care of the defense? Do you take care of the defense, or would you rather some of your assistant coaches do that? Because when I saw you that day and y'all were you're doing shell drill at that particular time when I came, and it's funny to watch the coaching because that's what I love to watch. That's the part that I miss, the aspect that I miss of coaching is watching the actual practices. When I was coaching, I really thought, man, I hate to practice. I want to go play games. I love that Friday night. Everybody does, but I actually missed that interaction during practice and seeing the kids' light bulbs going off and finally getting it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
I think it's a little bit of both, like what he said. Defensively, I guess I've brought in how my style of defense, how I want them to play, which is kind of how I played in high school under David Russell, is hard-nosed, get up and pass in lanes, We're going to make every pass hard. We don't want to give them anything. So he's kind of had to adjust to teaching what I want. But yeah, I think both of us kind of.
So in a perfect world,
carry the load.
what kind of defense what kind of defense are you running right now? Do you run predominantly man? Do you mix it up with zone? But if you had your preferred way, if game's on the line, what are you going to be running?
We're playing man.
Gonna play
Games
man?
online, yeah.
Okay, is it going to be, you like to get up the line too. You like
Yeah.
to try to get up there, get
Yeah.
your hands, the guard-to-guard passes, a lot of people have different rules about that. I was always more conservative because maybe our team wasn't as athletic as the others, but we wanted to be more conservative. We're going to let the guard pass go. But some people like to be up the line, try to get that pass.
Yeah.
What is your philosophy on defense?
I kind of just said it, like up and passing lanes, very aggressive. We're going to front post players. Everybody's going to be in help side, checking cuts, just really trying to get to where they're very physical on defense and, we're getting after people.
So this week's game is still fresh on your minds. Do you know right now, scouting report-wise, we've got about 30 seconds, what you're going to have to do tonight against the Lady Eagles to win the game?
Well, first off, we're going to come in and try to focus in on the little things, the detailed things, as far as rebounding, taking care of the basketball. But on their aspect, we know this district is a very tough district, whether it's the bottom or top. Anybody can be beat on any given night because it's that much better.
And that's a great point. Right now, Dixon's at 7-0. We're going to talk about our District 11 AAA for just a moment. Dixon 7-0. They escaped last night. Franklin Lady Rebels didn't play the best game in the world, but they beat Franklin 28-24. Brentwood, you're sitting in second place right now, 6-1. Franklin's 5-2. Ravenwood's in 4-3. Summit 3-3. Page 2-4. Indy 2-5. If the tournament was today, guess who would be facing off in the first round? You two guys. That's just think about that. Any given night, and on the boys' side the same way, any given night, the way those matchups go, somebody can go home in a heartbeat. And that's a good thing. You want to play in top-level competition as long as you're on that winning side, right? Yeah. So it's always fun to have that good competition. Well, guys, thank you very much. Time's up. I told you to go quick. We're going to try the guys' side next. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Coaches Preview Show. Tonight's game, the Bruins sitting in first place at District 11 AAA versus Independence at Independence. So I want to talk real quickly about the weather. This show is actually taped earlier in the week on Wednesday. Tonight's game, or Friday night's game rather, is up in the air as far as weather goes. There's supposed to be a snow front coming in. If you will watch Twitter on WCS COJQ or look up WCS Sports Conference or any of these guys' Twitter feeds at the school level, we will get information out as soon as possible about Friday night's game. The game will start at 6 o'clock if on schedule. If not, we're looking at different dates for those games. But we're going to proceed right now as if the games are being played tonight. Welcome, Coach Jones. I always want to call you Jones. Please forgive me for that. Jones.
You should change it then.
And Coach Shirley. Coach Jones will be laughing about that right now. Coach Jones, you are new to the system, or not new to the system, new to Independence this year. You were at Fairview last couple of years. Talk a little bit about your coaching background as well.
Well, I originally started in West Tennessee. I was assistant coach at Crockett County High School. Then I took over at Liberty Tech High School, had some success there, had some really good players.
Just a few?
A few. Then I moved to Middle Tennessee. My wife was not going to stay in West Tennessee.
She was a pretty good player too, by the way.
She was for Williamson County Schools. She always reminds me of that. But yeah, so I took over at Antioch, was there, had a run there with some good kids, great young man. Then I came to Independence as an assistant coach for a year, took over at Fairview, helped that program get running and rolling again. And now I'm in Independence and trying to figure it out there now.
Well, I think everybody would agree with me as far as what was on the team last year for Independence and what's on the team now. We're not trying to discredit your players you got now, but the biggest discrepancy in what happened as far as who graduated and what Grayson Murphy not only meant to you, but meant to the whole conference.
Right.
This guy's a special guy. So
And not only losing Grayson, lost another couple other bodies this summer that we thought would be back, and then been kind of up and down with the injuries and things like that. But hopefully we're healthy and getting rolling now.
I still think, and I think Coach Shirley would agree, when it comes tournament time, it really doesn't matter what records are. If your team is healthy and clicking, man, you can beat anybody. Centennial was look at them last year. Mm-hmm. They're kind of almost carbon copy where you are right now this time of the year, and they came in and got themselves in the district tournament. Coach Shirley, 14-4, 6-1 right now. You guys are playing pretty good basketball. Tough loss this week, I know, against Centennial. That's the team we're talking about. Mm-hmm. You got to give credit to Centennial where credit's due. Centennial's playing really good basketball right now. They play hard, and they stole one from you guys by 1 point this week, but that's the way it is. I think we mentioned on the show earlier this week, I think this may be the first time in the 4 years I've been here on the boys' side that the district champion could potentially have 3 losses. I think that's a little bit, but 2 to 3 range could be feasible for everybody. And that just goes to show the parity of the league, Coach Shirley.
Well, you got to play every night. Obviously, that's what makes Williamson County schools successful at the next level, because we have gone through the battles. When you talk the Franklins and Ravenwoods and the Centennials and Summit with the talent they have, every night you have to be ready to play.
You're talking about Summit, right? They've got 6'9", 6'6". You know what place they're in the district right now? They're in 6th place. How would you like to get locked up with them in the first round? It's just one of those things that any given night, it's going to be district tournament. One of my favorite sporting events there is. I love March Madness, number 1, followed by the district tournament. I love that district tournament. Something about it's always fun. But Coach Shirley, you spoke of the quality of the Williamson County folks in-house in the conference. You started off winning 12 of your first 13. But what do you do to get more prepared? Let's talk about your schedule out of conference. Oakland, Beach, Riverdale, Martin Luther King. I mean, you've got some Oak Ridge. Yeah, that's my next one. You've got some really good teams that you scheduled non-conference. And you can't, even though Nolensville is a conference team, for us, but it's not a district team, that's not an easy night either.
No, that's what we tried to do, was challenge our players to give them the best opportunity for when we got into district play for us to be ready.
And, that's all you can ask. You get yourself ready, get ready, run the gauntlet best you can. Then when come tournament time, if you're fortunate enough to get out, you've already faced pretty much the best talent there is, right? So, Coach Jones, you beat Spring Hill 61-47. We talked about injuries. Mac James, pretty much your guy right now, your general, your point guard. He's back. Is he in full speed yet, or is it going to take a little bit of time?
I think he's full speed. He had a shoulder injury, and luckily for him, he could stay conditioned and still do a few things. He just had to avoid contact and get back completely healthy. Also, Garrett Kostelik was another post player for us, a senior return, who had injured his ankle against Summit, and he's been out the past couple of weeks. So we're getting him back acclimated, getting him back in shape and rolling. So hopefully here, tonight we'll be full speed, full steam ahead, and just building our chemistry again. Our chemistry got so off, playing guys out of position, playing guys in roles that they necessarily weren't comfortable with, getting those guys back. Guys get to settle back in their comfortable roles, and now we get back to just playing basketball and concentrating on the little things that we got to get better at.
And Garrett adds size to you in the post area, obviously rebounding defensively.
Size, the physicalness, the toughness that we need every night. It's just a leadership. He's a voice who's a high energy, good energy guy who in huddles and timeouts, even on the court, just another voice to remind guys like we're good. Let's where guys are supposed to be and doing the right thing.
He is a very positive individual. Bless his heart. He has been plagued with some injuries throughout his career. He's gone everything from a face mask to having to be in a wheelchair and everything else. I hope he can finish out completely injury-free.
Yes, and if you watch him practice, you kind of understand why. I want to put him in football pads with a helmet and shoulder pads some days because he goes so hard. He's such a tough kid, plays through a lot of injuries, but there's a reason why he gets injured.
Coach Shirley, your team last year, the longest, biggest overall as a group. This year, still long. You like to mix up your zone defense, which is highly effective with that length. David Winley, Harry Lackey, and Jack Thurman all averaging double digits for you. I know you're extremely proud and pleased with that. Talk about where your team is right now with those three and your other guys.
Well, yeah, we made a great run last year, obviously making it to state, and went over to Western Kentucky this summer and defeated last year's Kentucky State champions. Had a great start to this summer. All three of those young men are good young men. First of all, they play hard. They do all the other parts of the game. They take pride in their defense. But I'm also very proud of, like a Preston Moore, who's stepping in and running the team. Zach Leonard, Ben Myles, who are stepping in after some very good post players the last couple of years of Reed Smith and London Hardy's and Christian LaBreche's, that Zach Leonard and Ben Myles are stepping in. So I'm proud of the whole team.
And we talked about Grayson Murphy, but I'd be remiss to not mention. You mentioned LaBreche, great post player. Reed Smith having a really good career right now on the collegiate level, and Kellen King. I mean, Kellen King was one of the top players in Mid-State last year. I mean, you think about our top talent collectively, what we had last year. We were pretty solid from top to bottom.
Out of the 6 seniors, 5 of them went on to play college sports. Jacob Goslin's playing baseball. Daryl Jackson's playing basketball at Fisk University. So we had a good quality senior group, but the young players are stepping up.
Well, we're talking about your schedule. Now, I don't know if you put the Christmas tournament schedule together or if Coach Glass did, but East Nashville, Stratford, Columbia, Oakland, man, that's some really good talented teams in that.
It was a tough, you get to the break and you think you're going to get a chance to breathe, but you want your team to improve, and we're at that point we had a lot of injured bodies still and guys who were missing for various reasons, and hey, we ran through a gauntlet then. And our other parts of our schedule have been pretty tough. Coach Glass didn't leave me a light schedule.
I texted him and told him, said, we're not trying to be shamanad over here. We're not trying to invite all these folks over here. We're trying to get some wins, man.
Yeah, but the guys handle it well. I think every game we played has made us better, and it's getting us to a point to where we say every night we played really good teams. We're about to play another one tonight, so we're excited. We take on the challenges, and the guys have even though I think our record does not speak to how hard they work and the effort and the work they put in. We just had some tough bounces, some tough breaks, and hopefully we can get that rolling and get this ball in the right place.
After tonight, not tonight, but after tonight.
So let's talk about that. I mean, that's a great segue. I mean, look, we're on different side of the coins, obviously, right now, right? You guys are AP top 10 teams. Right now, you're still searching for your identity, right?
Right.
Your kids are still buying in. You're loving where you are. You're working hard. This thing is broken into 3 seasons. You've got season before Christmas, you got season after Christmas, you got the tournament. You still have time to get this thing right. And is that exciting?
That's exciting. And last year Independence went on a great run, but there was a stretch in the middle of their season where they lost 7 games in a row. So these kids have seen it. They believe it. They understand how important postseason is and how each game is building us for February, building us for that postseason. And they bought into that. They believe in it, and hopefully we can build ourselves to make a run here at the end of the season.
And truthfully, 2 years ago, the tables were reversed. First time I was on this show with you, we had a very slow start and turned it around,
Coach,
beat everybody in the district the second time. So we were in the same situation, kind of reversed 2 years ago.
That's a great. I completely forgot about it. That's a good point. And Coach Josh Goodwin down at Summit was talking about the same thing last week. He mentioned, Independence was in the same exact spot where their record is right now. They had lost 7 straight games. Everybody thought Independence is dead in the water. Dead in the water. They're done. Matter of fact, I think that came out of my mouth on one of these shows. And of course, they made me look like idiots. And we never pretended to be smart. But and then they go on the run, and you guys sustained that all year long. You had not 2 years ago, but last year you were on top. You stayed on top. So let's look right now at District 11 AAA from your guys' perspectives. All right, Brentwood sitting on first, 6-1. Franklin 5-2. You want to talk about a deadly team? Reese Glover had 44 last night against Dixon. That team can absolutely shoot it, or if they're not on, anybody can beat them. So
we held him to 34 or 37, whatever it was. I mean, he just makes tough shots.
He makes tough shots. Ravenwood right now sitting at 5-2 in third place. They have the tiebreaker. Franklin has a tiebreaker over them. Centennial's in fourth. They're at 5-2 as well. And Franklin and Ravenwood both hold the tiebreaker over Centennial. How'd you like to get matched up with them in the first round right now? They're playing really good basketball. Dixon's 3-4, Summit's 2-4, Page 2-5, Indy 2-5, Spring Hill If it was played today, obviously Indy would play Spring Hill. Winter would get you guys in the opening round, and then you've got Franklin, Page, and Summit and Ravenwood in that first district. I mean, that's the first round. I mean, it's pretty amazing to think about how that first round matchup would go. But we got about 30 seconds to a minute. What do we expect from Brentwood tonight?
Hey, they're going to run their stuff. They're going to run it well. They're going to hopefully they'll play a little more man-to-man on us. But hey, they're long. They're long. They're going to force you to take uncomfortable shots, and they're going to run their stuff well. They're going to make you play defense, and that's something that we got to sit down and do. Stay in front of them and hopefully make them shoot tough shots. But they take the heat. Coach Shirley gets his knife out and his fork, and they just kind of pick you apart and pick at you and make you uncomfortable on the offensive end. So we got to figure out how to stay comfortable, take care of the ball, and make them shoot tough shots.
Could be one of the best half-court offensive teams that I've seen in this state. I mean, as far as running your stuff, discipline, doing your thing, IQ, everything. Right. Coach Shirley, what about on this side?
Watching them play, a lot of respect for how hard they work, and that's what you can ask for a coach. They play hard. They play real hard. A lot of, we had a whole bunch of battles with Independence last year, playing them in the district championship and the regional championship, and Mac hit a lot of big shots last year in both games. So we know we have to come and play. We have to be the best team we can be, and tons of respect for Coach, tons of respect for every team we play in Williamson County.
Well, best of luck to both you guys tonight and going down the road. We'll see you soon, I'm sure, on future shows. Good job for the rookie.
Thank you.
You're the oldest of the bunch now. You're the tenured man.
I'm the tenured
out of the
man.
Brentwood Independence girls and boys basketball. Once again, just want to remind you that tonight's game on Friday it could be canceled due to weather, so please continue to watch Twitter and make sure that you watch their Twitter feeds at the school level and at the district level, WCSCOJQ, and you'll find out the information on Friday's games between Independence and Brentwood. At Independence, tip-off for the ladies will start at 6 with the guys to follow at 7:30. Thank you for joining us this week's Coaches Preview Show. We'll see you next time.
You know the most important lesson you can teach your kids about playing sports is concussion signs and symptoms. After a hit to the head, if they have any concussion signs like blurred vision or headache, they need to stay out of play until they're checked by a healthcare professional. Play safe when it comes to concussion. When in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. This is the other thing you can teach them. Comes in handy.
When sharing the road, reaction time is important. Motorists should reduce their speed and avoid tailgating, especially in bad weather. When passing, they should leave at least 3 feet between their vehicle and the cyclist. Cyclists have the same rights and responsibilities as motorists. They should travel in the same direction on the right hand of the road and obey all traffic signals. Responsible cyclists care about the image they portray and are courteous to others with whom they share the road. Staying alert, sharing the road, and obeying traffic signals. Observing these rules provides predictability for both motorists and cyclists. Remember, same roads, same rules, same rights.